Hello, today I'm going to do part 2 of section 5.2. I'm going to start off with graphing. To create a graph, you can plot the graph of a line by first plotting at least 2 points on the line and then filling in with a straight edge. Tip: the further apart the points are, the more reliable your picture will be. Given a point on the line and the slope of the line, let's graph it. Well, they've already given us a point, 1, 2. But now, how is the slope useful when I need a second point? Well, remember how we went from the graph to the slope? Well, we just kind of do it the other way around, where remember the top number is your change in y, so I need to go up 1, and your bottom number is your change in x, so I need to go over 2. Now for this example, I'm going to show you that you can actually flip it around even. Instead of going up 1, you can go down 1. But in order to get a point on the same line, you also have to do the opposite on the bottom. So instead of going right 2, you go left 2. And you can see that these 3 points I just made all fall on the same line. Example 5, well, this one actually gave us 2 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So then we connect those 2 points. And there's our line. But now what if we're given the equation? So I'm not given a point or the slope. Well, let's go ahead and find 2 points. So we could find the intercepts, but you don't have to. You can find any points you want. So I'm going to just pick 2 random x values because I only need 2 points. And after I have the x values, I can solve for the y values. So I don't know, let's do -2 and 2. So for -2, we get 3 times -2 minus 2y equals 6. -6 minus 2y equals 6. Add 6, add 6. -2y equals 12. Divide by -2, divide by -2, y equals -6. Now sometimes this does happen, where you pick an x value, you get a y value, -6. That's perfectly correct. But when I look at my graph, I can't plot -6. So I would, let's choose -1 then. Just change your value up a little bit. So we get -3 minus 2y equals 6. Add 3, add 3, -2y equals 9, divide by -2, divide by -2, y equals -4.5, which that will work. Okay, let me move that over just a little bit. Now for 2, so we get 3 times 2, minus 2y equals 6. 6 minus 2y equals 6. Subtract 6, subtract 6. -2y equals 0. Divide by -2, divide by -2, you get y equals 0. So there's my 2 points. So I go -1, -4.5, and then 2, 0. And there's our line. Horizontal and vertical lines. Graph an example of a horizontal line. What is its equation? What is its slope? So a horizontal line, let's go down here. Before we answer what is its equation, let's think about what its slope is. So remember, slope is change in y. Well, does the y change at all on this line? No, the y is the same value everywhere on this line. So our change in y is 0. And then your change in x can be anything, because no matter what 2 points you pick, you'll get a number. So let's just say it's 1 for the purposes of this example. So our slope is 0. But now, what is the equation of the line? Well, that comes back to what I was just saying. The y value is the same for all the points on this line. So that means its equation must mean that y equals a number. Well, for all these points, y equals -2. If we were to plot a different horizontal line, what would change? Would the slope change or the equation? Well, if you plot a different horizontal line, the slope stays the same. You only get a different equation. In particular, you get a different y value for the equation. So we usually say the equation of a horizontal line is y equals b, some constant. Now let's do the same thing for a vertical line. So here, this change in y can be whatever, because they all have different y values. So depending on what 2 points you pick, it can be anything. So let's say our change in y is 1. But then what's our change in x value? Because the x value is the same for every point on this line, the change in x value will be 0. Well, 1 over 0 is undefined. So the slope of a vertical line is undefined. And for similar reasons, from what I just said, because they all have the same x value, the equation is x equals, in this case, 3. So you get a different x value for the equation. So then we say x equals a is the equation of a vertical line. And that is it for part 2 of section 5.2.